We've got some really interesting material from you today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And our goal, like always, is to dig in and pull out those key insights, the practical stuff you can actually use without getting totally bogged down in detail.
Right. It's like a shortcut to getting up to speed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this text you sent over, it's almost like holding up a mirror, isn't it?
It really is. It gets you thinking about where your focus actually is, or maybe where it isn't, and how that might be holding you back.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission for this deep dive is to really unpack these 10 tips the source gives for building truly unshakable focus.
Going beyond just the list, right? Seeing how they filled together.
Precisely. How you can actually weave them into, your life.
And this is really for you, the listener, who wants to grasp this stuff efficiently, but also deeply. Someone who likes a clear structure and takeaways you can act on.
Yeah.
Because the source makes this pretty bold claim.
Yeah.
That we all have this inner potential, a mission even.
That gets lost.
Right. Lost in all the noise, the distractions, the constant juggling.
And the core promise here is pretty significant. It suggests that by really understanding and applying these 10 tips, you can genuinely change your focus, your mindset.
And ultimately your future. That's the idea.
It's a big claim. So let's dive into that first tip. What's number 1?
Okay, tip 1, find your reason. The source really hammers this home. It says your why is actually more crucial than just discipline or motivation.
Yeah, it's the foundation.
It pushes you to look past the superficial stuff like, oh, I want more money.
Yeah.
And find what really drives you deep down.
Exactly. And they make this interesting distinction, don't they, between just wanting something casually
Right.
and having what they call a visceral reason, something that, keeps you awake at night or maybe even brings tears to your eyes. That deep emotional tie-in.
It's that core emotional connection that acts as the fuel.
Mm-hmm. It's not just about the goal itself, but the feeling behind why that goal matters so much. That's what keeps you going when things get tough.
And that example they use, the girl studying under the streetlight.
Yeah, that was incredibly moving.
Her village had no power, and she was driven because her mother died from lack of health care.
Mm-hmm.
That's just immense.
Totally. It's not just a preference. It's tied to preventing real pain. And that kind of reason becomes almost like an internal engine.
Unstoppable.
Right. So when doubt comes or you feel exhausted, that why just pulls you back. The advice is really practical too. Identify it, write it down, say it out loud, really feel it.
Connect with it emotionally, not just intellectually.
Exactly. That's the fuel.
Okay, moving to tip 2. Focus on the most important task. This one kind of flips the script on why we fail sometimes.
Yeah, it challenges that idea that it's always laziness.
Right. It suggests often we're super busy, just busy doing the wrong things, cleaning the desk, checking email constantly, endless scrolling.
Stuff that feels productive, maybe.
Exactly. But doesn't actually move the needle on the big goals.
And the key idea here is that just one truly focused hour on your most important task, well, that beats 10 hours of scattered, random effort. Hands down.
Impact over just activity.
Mm-hmm. And they offer that really powerful morning question. If I could only do one thing today.
That would move me closer to my dream. What would it be?
Yes. And then the crucial part, actually doing only that one thing. No distraction.
That focused attention, they call it deep work, right?
Right. Deep work, that state of intense focused concentration on something demanding. And the source basically says that's where the magic happens, where real breakthroughs occur.
Like the security guard example. Studying code for 2 hours every night.
Yeah, consistently. And eventually he becomes a software engineer. It shows the power of that sustained focus on one key thing.
It really makes you ask yourself, doesn't it? Are you just busy or are you effective?
Do you want real progress or just the feeling of being busy? It's a hard question.
And that Bruce Lee quote they threw in there. Fearing the person who practiced one kick 10,000 times.
Yeah, that sums it up perfectly. The power of focused repetition.
Okay, tip 3, set your priorities. This one tackles that feeling of being constantly drained.
And again, it challenges the common assumption. It's not always about doing too much.
But too much of the wrong things. Things that don't really align.
Exactly. It's the mental load of juggling stuff that doesn't truly matter that wears you out. So setting priorities isn't just making a list.
It's about deciding what not to do.
Yes. Protecting your energy for what's actually important. Stop treating everything like it's urgent.
They have that exercise, the 3 circles.
Oh, yeah, that's quite visual. Circle 1, what you want to do. Circle 2, what you actually do daily.
In circle 3, your main goal.
Right. And then you look at the overlap or the lack of it.
If your daily actions aren't really connecting with your goal, well, the source is blunt. It says the math doesn't add up. You won't get there.
It's simple logic, really, and it ties into the idea of saying no.
Successful people say no a lot more often.
That's what the source argues. They guard their time and energy fiercely, like that Steve Jobs quote.
Oh, yeah. Focus means saying no to hundreds of other good ideas.
Exactly. It's about that laser focus.
So the action here is clear. Write down maybe your top 3 priorities and then be pretty ruthless.
Cut out what doesn't serve them.
Yeah. And stop feeling guilty about focusing on your own dreams.
Absolutely. Give yourself permission.
All right. Tip 4. Calculate your time. This tackles that big one. I don't have enough time.
The classic excuse.
And the source basically says, well, maybe the issue isn't a lack of time, but a lack of awareness of where it's going.
I like the bank account analogy they use.
Me too. 24 hours deposited every day, non-refundable.
1,440 minutes. 86,400 seconds. Spend it wisely because you don't get it back.
It really makes you pause and think, okay, where did my time go yesterday? How much was scrolling? How much was complaining? How much was just overthinking?
And that example of the person with the demanding job. Kids commute.
Yeah, building a whole new life just by carving out 1 hour a night for 5 years.
It shows the incredible power of consistency, even with small amounts of time.
And conversely, how small time wasters add up. Like 3 hours a day on Instagram?
Yeah.
That's 45 days a year.
It's shocking when you calculate it.
So the advice is really concrete. Track your time for a few days. Seriously.
See where the leaks are.
Identify the time sinks, even the small ones. Then block your calendar, set timers, kill the notifications.
And work with a sense of urgency. Treat that time like the valuable currency it is.
Okay. Tip 5. Use your power hours. This acknowledges something we probably all feel.
Yeah, that our brain power isn't just constant all day long.
Right. It waxes and wanes. And the source talks about these power hours, maybe 1 to 3 hours where you're just mentally sharper, more focused.
At your peak performance.
But the common mistake is wasting that prime time, right?
Absolutely. Scrolling through social media first thing or wading through non-urgent emails when your brain is actually at its best.
So the first step is figuring out when your power hours actually are. When do you feel most alive, most creative?
When do ideas flow easily? When do you feel fast and focused? Could be morning, could be late night.
You need to observe yourself for a week or so, track it.
And once you, protect that time fiercely.
Like a CEO guarding your most important meeting slot.
Exactly. Turn off the phone, shut the door, block distractions, and use that precious time for your most important tasks.
Because the payoff is huge. 1 focus hour then can be like 10 times more effective than struggling through 5 distracted hours later.
It's a massive difference. Think about starting the day diving into your phone versus dedicating that first hour to your biggest dream. Game changer.
Totally. Okay, tip 6. Procrastination is the worst. They don't mince words here.
No, they call it a slow death, a thief of your future. Pretty dramatic.
But maybe accurate. It's sneaky. It's not usually one big blow up.
Right. It's more like a quiet erosion. Little delays adding up. Putting things off. I'll do it after lunch. I'll do it tonight. Maybe tomorrow.
And suddenly the day, the week, the month is gone.
And the reason behind it. Often it's waiting for that perfect feeling.
Waiting for the mood to strike, or motivation to magically appear, or to feel completely ready.
Which, let's be honest, almost never happens.
The source is clear that perfect readiness is a myth. The key principle: act before you feel ready.
The start.
And they offer that practical trick, the 5-second rule.
Yeah, Mel Robbins' concept. The moment you think of doing something toward your goal.
Count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And physically move, stand up, open the laptop, whatever it is, it bypasses the part of your brain that makes excuses.
And making that first step ridiculously small helps too, right?
Definitely. Don't aim to write the whole chapter. Just open the book and read 1 page. Overcome that initial inertia.
It's about reminding yourself what procrastination actually costs you.
Yeah, the delayed dream, the hit to your confidence, the life you're not living yet.
They even suggest visualizing your life in 5 years if you don't act now.
Yeah.
Use that potential pain as fuel.
A bit intense, but maybe effective for some people.
Okay, tip 7. A healthy mind lies in a healthy body. This seems obvious, but maybe we forget it.
We do. The analogy of the broken car engine is good. You can't expect peak performance mentally if the physical machine is sputtering.
Your body is your first home, they say. Neglect it, and your dreams are in jeopardy.
And they link poor habits directly to focus issues. Junk food makes your brain sluggish.
Lack of sleep leads to a cloudy mind.
Not enough exercise kills confidence and motivation. It's not just motivational fluff, it's basic science.
And you can't really say, oh, I'll focus on my goals now and worry about health later.
Right, because your body might just give up before you get there.
So the actions are fundamental. Prioritize good sleep, like 6-8 hours. Let the brain recharge.
Get rid of the waste products, reset focus, store memories, stop scrolling at midnight.
Move your body daily. Doesn't have to be intense, 15-30 minutes of walking, yoga, whatever. Release those good chemicals.
And eat cleaner. More fruits, veggies, water, less sugar and processed stuff. Simple but powerful for brain function.
It directly connects. Dehydrated, brain fog, skipped lunch, can't focus, poor sleep. Forget about deep work.
So if you're feeling scattered or tired, check in. How's your body doing? It's foundational.
Tip 8. Create a balance between your pain and enjoyment. This one's about avoiding extremes.
Yeah, the tendency to either just chase pleasure all the time or to constantly grind and burn out.
Life isn't meant to be lived at either pole. Balance is key for sustainability.
And the principle is interesting. Use pain, or maybe discomfort is a better word, to build discipline.
And use pleasure or enjoyment as a genuine reward.
Right, so the pain part is about leaning into the stuff that's hard but necessary. Waking up early, choosing the healthy food, tackling the tough task, studying when you don't feel like it.
Reframe that discomfort as growth.
Exactly. It builds confidence, freedom, pride, power in the long run. Embrace the suck sometimes.
But then there's the other side, distinguishing real enjoyment from just escapism.
Yeah, that's crucial. Are you truly resting and recharging or just distracting yourself from your goals with excessive food, videos, whatever?
True enjoyment, the source says, comes after the hard work. It's earned. Rest, nature, music, laughter, real connection.
So a balanced day might look like focused work, healthy habits, and then genuine relaxation versus a day of procrastination followed by guilt-driven binging of something.
It's about intentionality in both effort and rest.
Precisely.
All right, tip 9. Remove toxic triggers. This one's pretty direct.
Yeah, brutal truth time, they call it. Weak focus often isn't just about you being weak.
It's about the stuff around you constantly pulling you away. Your environment, your habits, even people.
And these triggers can seem totally normal, right? Your phone sitting there, clutter on your desk, that friend who always complains.
But they subtly chip away your focus. A trigger is anything that yanks your mind off track, whispers distractions.
And every time you give in, your focus resets, your mental state shifts, you lose momentum, motivation drops.
It's death by 1,000 tiny cuts. They highlight key areas.
The phone, obviously. It's addictive design. How many times do we unlock it a day without even thinking? How much is actually work versus just scrolling?
It scatters your brain, makes clear thinking harder.
Then your environment. Visual clutter, noise, blinking notifications, half-finished tasks lying around.
Your mind reacts to what it sees. Messy space, messy focus.
They call a clean, organized space neural protection. I like that.
Me too. And then toxic people.
Yeah. The silent energy leaks. People who leave you feeling drained, doubtful, guilty, comparing yourself.
Their comments can stick with you, hijacking your mental energy long after they're gone. Emotional triggers.
So the process for dealing with this is very practical. Step 1, a trigger audit.
Make a list. What breaks my focus? Where does it come from? How can I remove or reduce it?
Be honest. Is it Instagram first thing? Phone by the bed. That negative friend.
Step 2, remove or block. Put the phone in another room. Use app blockers. Clean your desk. Noise-canceling headphones. Set boundaries with people.
And step 3, which is important, replace the trigger. Just removing leaves a void.
Right. So instead of scrolling, maybe journal. Instead of gossip, plan your day. Instead of noise, calm music. Instead of comparing, check in with yourself.
Be proactive in filling that space positively.
Okay, last one. Tip 10. Fall in love with boring repetition.
This really cuts through the hype around achieving goals.
Yeah, we see the highlight reel, but the reality is often, well, boring. It's the daily grind, the routine, the stuff you do when no one's watching.
And that's where most people quit, apparently. They chase the next hit of motivation, the next new shiny thing.
But lasting focus, real mastery, is built in that quiet, repetitive space, those small daily actions.
Like writing every day, even when you don't feel inspired, practicing that speech again and again, showing up for exercise consistently, rereading something to truly understand it, planning your next day every night.
It's easy to start things when they're exciting and new.
But much harder to stick with them when they become routine. Like the example of parents providing for kids, it's not always exciting. It's driven by responsibility, by a mission.
Connecting your goals to that deeper sense of mission helps you push through the boredom.
And there's a reason why repetition is so powerful. It literally rewires your brain.
Builds those habit loops.
Yeah.
Makes the hard stuff easier over time.
Reduces resistance, builds confidence through competence, creates momentum. It turns effort into something almost automatic.
Like brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation for that.
Exactly. Imagine treating your most important goals with that same level of non-negotiable daily repetition.
So the final thought here is kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Maybe boredom isn't a sign you should quit.
Maybe it's a sign of growth. A sign you're moving past the easy dopamine hits and into the real work of mastery and purpose.
Lean into the boredom. Interesting.
Yeah.
So wrapping this all up, the main takeaway feels like you absolutely do have the ability to focus deeply. It's within you.
Definitely. These 10 tips aren't magic, but they offer a really solid direction, a roadmap.
The power is there. It just needs to be cultivated. And the key is just starting.
Mm-hmm. Don't get overwhelmed trying to do all 10 at once. Just pick one.
Find the one tip that really speaks to where you are right now, your biggest challenge, and commit to one small action today.
And build from there.
So here's that final thought for you to take away. Which one of these 10 tips really hit a nerve? Where do you feel your focus is most vulnerable?
And thinking about tip 10, what's one small, maybe even boring, but consistent action you could start doing today to begin building that solid castle of focus brick by repetitive brick?